May the words of my lips and the meditations of all our hearts be always acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and Redeemer. Amen. Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the people. And so begins Lent. I note that this is billed as a homily, not a sermon. The difference between the two was best described by the late Rabbi Lionel Blue. Some of you may remember him from Radio 4's Thought for the Day. A homily, he said, is 2 or 3 minutes. Say what you mean, get to the point, don't waffle. Whereas, he said, a sermon could go on for 20 minutes, 30, 40, 50. Because he said, you know that somewhere you and your point will bump into each other. This is a homily. In 1419, the Portuguese explorer João Goncalves Zarco discovered the island that we now know as Madeira, the island off the North African coast, densely rich in vegetation, tropical, humid, teeming with all sorts of insects and creatures. And Zarco was an ambitious man. He sailed back to Portugal and, in an audience with the Portuguese King John I, got out of the king a promise of some money and a return journey to go back to the island we now call Madeira. So in 1420, he sailed again with his wife and family, with a few workers, with some money, and some plants carefully chosen, some seeds, and from Crete, a particular type of vineyard. He got to Madeira and he immediately set fire to the island, burning most of the vegetation and all of the creatures that lived on it. And in the ashes of that rich vegetation, made rich by centuries of composting organisms and leaves, Zarco planted vineyards. A few years later, a Venetian explorer went back and rediscovered, if you like, the island of Madeira. And he wrote of seeing vineyards so rich that there were more grapes than there were leaves, and of the vineyards producing a sweet and beautiful wine. And how apt that out of the ashes of destruction could be produced a wine so sweet and so beautiful that for the last 400 years it is used to toast and celebrate royalty. That is the moral of Ash Wednesday. The ashes placed on your forehead are the beginnings of a beautiful and sweet new beginning. Amen.